These are the ones to grab. The games you hold, the games you watch them grow, in value at least. These are 10 games I would grab now before it's too late. And there's definitely one in here that fits in most people's budget. These are in no particular order, but let's start with some Fire. And that's Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition. Oof. Where do I even begin on this one? So, a cartridge alone will set you back at least $350 these days. Just the cartridge, nothing else. And this is really already in the out of reach category for most people. The rarity comes from 2 games and DLC on the cartridge. And the DLC is the big part. It's its own fully fleshed storyline. And the only other way to get this is to download it, obviously. But once that eShop closes, the cartridge is the only way to get to play this whole other storyline on the DLC. That's what makes this so valuable for a DS game. And checking online, you'll be lucky to get about 10 listings in your country at any given time. So definitely pounce on this one if you've got the cash. Next up is Cave Story, and this one's definitely more affordable than the first one here. Now this game did get a release on other platforms. There is a Switch physical version if you prefer to collect for the Switch. However, a lot of people really enjoy this version of the game. So what makes this one so special? 3D. They decided to go all out, buy into the 3DS hardware, and they made a 3D version of this game, along with a few other modifications for quality of life improvements. A lot of people believe this is the best version of the game, which is why it's starting to see a price increase. So if this is a game you really want, I'd look at buying it now before it gets too far out of reach. Also make sure when you buy your copy, you're checking for that special slipcover that comes with it, because that would technically be the complete version. Next up is Yokai Watch 3, and this one's just crazy. So the first couple games in the series came to the West, were received pretty well, but we just didn't catch on compared to other countries. So they did not make a huge print run for Yokai Watch 3. And because of that, the price is right up. So it's going to set you back probably $120 minimum just for the cartridge right now at the time of the recording. So if this is a game you're really interested in to complete your collection, definitely be on the lookout now for that English copy that has the box and everything. I was lucky enough to grab one, but I only have the cartridge. I don't have the box or anything, which is kind of a bummer when you look at a shelf and you don't have that box, but beggars can't be choosers when you have a game that is really hard to find. Kid Icarus Uprising. Now, this game didn't have some big grand release, but it did go on to sell 1 million copies. It's a unique experience with on-the-rails shooting and more ground fighting action. And for perspective, the last Kid Icarus game came in 1991 before this. That's right, it was more than 10 years between releases. And if this stays true, we might not see another Kid Icarus game on a physical cartridge. There might be a download someday, but this is looking like it could be the last Kid Icarus physical release. Unless something changes, it probably is. I would definitely pick one up now if you find a price you like. Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. This is 2 great companies that decided to come together and make a great game with 2 of their great characters. Capcom and Level 5 put together a great story between our detective and our attorney, and this one is definitely worth the price of admission, although it's getting up there in price already, and it's only $30 on the eShop. Read your own mail here. Maybe you want to pick up the digital now while you can, or maybe you should search for a cart before it's impossible to find. You pick. We're already halfway there on the list, but there's definitely still some great games to come, and there is one budget option that I think everyone will want to jump on while they can. Hit that subscribe button, and let's look at the second half. Fragrance Story is a tough one to talk about. This comes from Squire Games, and it's a small but mighty team. It came out in 2 waves right at the end of the lifespan. These delivered in the spring of 2022. There was a regular and a collector's edition, and some signed collector's edition. But where the problem comes in is this is a $4 eShop game, and it is very, very short. I mean, extremely short for a tactical RPG. It feels like they rushed this one out there to be the last one out on the 3DS just for namesake. Prices are holding, so this may be one you want to look at if you are a completionist for the console. You can find this one on Amazon and eBay at the time of recording. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I feel like Shantae is a household name for collectors at this point. Limited Run did a great job of pushing the Shantae series out there past the Game Boy Color expensive price point and said, hey, this series is actually still here. Maybe you want to buy it, which is why it's the most expensive game on the Switch. And I think this could become one of the most expensive games on the 3DS as well. At any given time when you go look online, there is not many copies available, and the Shantae name just kind of screams money as it ages. Just like anything Shantae, expect to spend 3 digits and don't sleep on it, because Shantae plus time equals $signs. One Piece Romance Dawn is the next one. Now this is not a highly rated game. This is not a game that's on there because it's a great game. It's on there because it's numbered. If you get an English copy, they are numbered out of 16,600. If you get the slipcover, and that's the big part, is to get one that's complete in box with the slipcover that shows you its number. This is definitely a collector's piece you want to look at if you're going for the complete set, and you want to make sure you get all the components in the box when you buy it. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. Now this one is a good game. This is definitely a great game, one you would want to pick up and actually play, not just sit on the shelf for value's sake. And unfortunately, it was the last 3DS release that Nintendo published. They didn't print very many. It's reported that 20% of the sales run in Japan sold on the first day, which can give you an idea just how few copies they actually made. Because of that, you can already expect to spend 3 digits on a good copy of this game, and that's really unfortunate because it's a Nintendo published game. Just don't expect any more ports of this game, and pick it up if you find a copy out in the wild. I don't think any list would be complete without a Pokemon game. That's why Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is right here in the list. And this is my budget option for all you people out there. This game you can still find close to the original MSRP sealed. And that's the key here, is you can still find this game sealed brand new. And if we know anything about Pokemon, it just only grows in value over time. So if you want to grab a copy, throw it on the shelf, let it collect dust, and then on a rainy day, maybe you need to flip it or sell it for something else. I don't know. Read your own mail here, but this one might be worth picking up sealed while you still can, just for value. What do you think about this list? Are there any games you would add before they get completely out of reach? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what games are your must-haves before they're impossible to find for the 3DS system. If you want to watch something else, YouTube thinks you should watch one of these videos that are going to appear here somewhere. I don't know where yet, but maybe there's a video here. Maybe it's down here. Maybe you should watch one of them because YouTube thinks you're going to like them.